you something before I even begin. That should stop the blurriness. Right, I am videoing my 6-way swap. I've been really busy this month. I've even caught up on one of the pages that I did last month that I've been catching up. So Mary, my apologies for this being so late. So this month I had Gypsy. I had to create a Gypsy themed paper page and a Gypsy themed fabric page. I'm going to show you them both as they're two themes. This is created for the lovely Lynn Noakes. So Lynn, sweetheart, if you're watching, hi. I'm so excited to do this swap because I had a different sort of feel for Gypsy. I'm going to do the paper one first, I think. Different feel for Gypsy. When I think of Gypsy, I think of the caravans, how they travelled, what brought them here in the first place. Not particularly the colours or what they wore. Maybe the more caravans is what my mind went at when I got this theme. So this is the beginning of the paper page. So what I'm about to show you, let me just take this stuff out and you might be able to see it. That wagon, as it was called, is called the Gentleman Gypsy Wagon. And what it was the first ever gypsy caravan to be a gypsy caravan. It was quite big inside. It wasn't small caravans as we know. It was quite big inside. And who created it was a doctor, and he went from being a doctor to creating this gypsy wagon, and he ended up living in it and travelling with it. And that's how gypsy caravans sort of developed then. As with anything else, you know, a phone comes out and then a couple of years later a new phone of a generation comes out. So this was the first ever gypsy wagon to come out. And in fact, let me show you the book. It's this. So this is what the Gentleman Gypsy Wagon looked like. And the guy who created it was called Gordon Stables. And for anyone interested in Gypsy, oh my word, read this book. It's amazing. I absolutely love this book. It gives you all the detail about where they went, how they got there. It gives you the maps even in the book. It's just so interesting. And right at the very start of the book, because that's what it looked like, even had shutters on the outside. Now gypsy wagons, when if you've seen any gypsy wagons, you'll notice that they haven't got shutters. They've got more like maybe 1-2 windows each side and then one window on the back. This one had 2 windows on the back. It was equipped with chicken coops on the inside, and it was all furnished with oak wood on the outside. It was an amazing gypsy wagon to create with, and it tells you in the book what type of wagon it was. It was an amazing wagon. This is what gives you the insight of what it looked like. So this is peering through the back door, and it was called the Wanderer. That's exactly what it was called. The gypsy wagon, the caravan I'm going on about, was called the Wanderer. So I'm going to just read out to give you some sort of an description what the Wanderer was. So the caravan is built and fitted. She is generally omitted by friends and visitors, that I may be forgiven for believing that a short description of her may not prove understanding to the general reader. Let us walk round her first, foremost, and the view of exterior. A glance will show you that the Salon Caravan Wanderer is by no means in small dimensions. From stem to stern, without shafts or pole, she measures 17 feet, and her height from ground being 11 feet, and her breadth inside 6 feet fully. For this long a carriage, you would naturally say the wheels seem low. This is true. The hind wheels are a little over 4 foot, and they are under the carriage. Had they been tall, they must have been provided beyond her considerability, and this would have given the Wanderer a breadth of beam which would have been awkward on the road and re-entered, if impossible to get through her many gateways. I might have had a semicircle or hollow in the sides of the caravan, in which high wheels could have moved without entailing a border beam, but this would have curlize the floor space in an after cabin on which my valet has to sleep ships, and his agreement was therefore out of the question. So he basically had a valet, a person, just to keep the caravan as neat, as tidy as possible. They would polish the outside. So that gives you some sort of an insight how big this caravan actually was. It was no by means the gypsy wagons that we know today. So Lynn, when you said gypsy, I sort of went down this route. I'm hoping that you will like what I've made you, but I went down this route. I did, however, put some other bits and pieces in there. So as he was a doctor, he goes into the book about, you know, the fields that he went in. So I put some dried flowers in an envelope. So he would often send postcards back to his mum. And this has got vellum over the front and a little note there, and you can write in the inside. So I've left it open for you to write in. There's plenty of writing space in the paper journals. I've also got these tattered lace. They are tattered lace die cuts of the caravans, and I bought them ages ago. I basically bought them for miniature making, and I didn't realise until I came through the door that they were actually caravans. So I've put one on the front, and I've actually put one inside for you to use. I'm going to actually bring you down a little bit. So, mind my phone, somebody's messaging me. And I've also, made two, what they call boho beads. One is plain, and they've made out of straws, and the other one I wrapped sari silk, threads, all sorts around it, and they're quite soft, so there's no beads on there and it doesn't bulk it out too much. So there's them. Now if I move this out the way, you've got a dried buttercup here that goes up. There's some more sari silk on the edges, and in here is like a little notice diary. So I put a key, because he would have had a key to the caravan, and basically the first 2 pages and the pages on the back are pages from the book. But these are plain pages. I've done nothing to them. All I've done basically is put them in and sewn them in to make sure that they were okay for you to be able to write in. Because I thought I wanted something for you to be able to write in as well as see. So that is the first page. The second page is this page. So with the book, and I don't know whether I've put it back in. I don't know whether I have. Let me see if I have. With the book I had, I did have, and I don't know what I've done with it. No, I don't know what I've done with it. With the book I had a little booklet that came with it. And I had old-fashioned notice boards. So I've put one on the front, and that gives you some sort of description about Gordon's stables and about what he built and about what doctor profession he was in. So it'll tell you the books that were out by him, and then up the top it says leaves from the log of the gentleman gypsy, and like I say, the caravan was called the Wanderer. So behind here, this slips out, I have a few things for you. These were some of the posters that were in the little posted book. I haven't inked them because I thought I didn't want to. I wanted them to be left plain so you could do whatever you wanted to them. So that's the tooth polish. That one's the same. This one's the Goodlands jelly squares, and that gives you the custard powder and the egg powder. So I thought that was quite good because it gives you the recipes. So there's 4 in there that I've done. Oh, I did one more, but no, see, 4. And like I say, the Wanderer caravan, that slips in to there, and if you watch this corner there, you'll see it pop through there. And I've also put in a set of stamps. Now these stamps, I won't go through them because it'll give Lynn something nice to go through, but all these stamps are all different, and as the Wanderer went through different cities and countries, I just had to put it in. So all this is stitched in. I think I glued this down, but everything else is stitched in. The third page is this. So the third page, I'll come back to that in a second. I went on what a gypsy wagon actually looks like now. So that's the kind of detail what it looks like now. What it looked like after the Wanderer was built. What it should have looked like. Because what a gypsy wagon is what they would have painted really delicate details on the outside. They would have really gone to town with it, because the more details you add on the outside, the more pennies and the more wealth of the gypsy side you were. The less detail you add on the outside, the less money you had to do it, because of course you all the details were painted by themselves, but however they obviously had to get paint and all that to paint it. So this would have been a really wealthy caravan, and it's called a bow top. And then the reason it's called a bow top is because, I'm able to tell you this because I got it in miniature, is because the actual top of the caravan goes round and bends round like a C. So that's why it's called a bow top. Now, like I said, I've left all that plain. You will see some stitches. That's just through the other side. This is for you to stitch on, and I've stitched some lines on there. Now this, I've just popped some fabrics in it. I like the feel and the texture of things, and I thought this is the kind of type of fabric they would have had in the gypsy wagon. This, I'm going to explain to you. This is a little book marker, book page, whatever you want to call it, that I've made. I haven't added beads to it because I didn't want it to bulk it out. I was going to add something to dandle on the bottom, but I thought no. So instead what I did was I went to town with the detail of from my stitches instead of adding stuff to it. So there's that side, and then there's the fourth page. Again, more writing space for you to write on. I've added some lace and some sari silks and all that jazz that goes with it. Now on the back, I've made this into an envelope, and again, Lynn, you can write on the inside and you can write on the outside. Now the picture on the inside is the pantry, which is the back of the Wanderer, which is the back of the gypsy wagon, and then this is them pushing that Wanderer out of the mud because they got stuck in the mud. So I thought that was kind of cool to put in. The only thing I haven't showed you is there's a pocket just here. Again, this is the kind of detail they would have had on the gypsy wagon. This folds out, that folds out, all made into like the little envelopes that you can, you know, run and keep with. Now I have got one more thing to put in. No, that's not a pocket. One more thing to put in there, which I will add later on. I won't add that on film, so again give you something nice to look at. And then this goes here, and I've made a paper clip with some lace and some fabrics, and I've just to hold all this together. Okay, so that is, nearly forgot then. I've also added this page. Now this page is again pages out the book, all stitched in. I have done some stamping and I've added some laces. Now I'd asked Lynn what her favourite colours were, and she said black and red. So I found this in the market and I thought, oh, that just says gypsy all over. So I got some of that. And then on this side, what I've done is I've added, this is greaseproof paper that you can write on. I've added some fabrics, so it might be like fabrics that they wore, whatever, so you get to write on all this as well. So that's my fabric one. Hope you really like my fabric page. And my paper, no, that's my paper page. This is my fabric page. Like that. There. I shouldn't reflect. Now I'm hoping that won't reflect too much. So this is the start of my fabric page. Like I say, everything you see on this fabric page, all the beading I hand stitched in. For this one I was actually thinking what they wore. So on the paper page you've got exactly where they lived. On here you've got more what they wore, what they saw, what they picked up, that kind of thing. So I'll start from the top. So the top, the actual fabric I've used on top of the fabric that Mary gave me was fabric actually Shirley had given me about a year ago, and it had black in it, and I just thought, Lynn had mentioned she loved black, so I put that in. Then I had added some sari silks on the side and around. I've made my own fabric here, and I've added stitches to it and some beads. I've also added these like little let's call them sari embellishments, because that's what they are, sari and bead embellishments. So I've added some more beads there. I've also added this again. I did this separately and then added it to the book, sewed it onto the book. I've made a boho bead in the center. That's made out of straw, sari silk and some seed beads. And then this flips up. This is all made of fabric, made my own fabric. There is a little pocket here there if you wanted to put something there, but this rolls out, so you got all your writing space there, because I was thinking, you know, if it was me, I'd want to write in it as well. So down the bottom again, there's a mixture of fabrics and sari silks. There's a charm and some beads, and then this picture actually came from my snippet roll I received off the lovely Belinda when we had the challenge in the group. And behind the picture I've popped a little bag, and in the bag there's a real jasper gemstone, and they were all for picking things up in nature. They were all for picking flowers up. Anything they made was either things they picked up or made from the woods or whatever. So this is a real jasper stone, and my thought behind it was something that she left behind in a caravan that she always wanted to keep but didn't know what to do with. So I've popped it behind the picture, and there she is. She's beautiful. Again, sari silks and beads and all that. So that's the first page. The second page is this page. So I'll go through it a little bit. This is watercolor paper. Now the image, the stamp, I actually received off Sam. Hi Sam, sweetheart, if you're watching. And then I went around it in my watercolor paints and brushes and all that, and made her more colourful. And then I added more sari silks ribbons here. I added mostly red because Lynn said she loved red. The dragonfly again came from my snippet roll that the lovely Belinda made me. At the top again, all this is either hand sewn or sewn by the machine. Up the top we have the gold and red lace that I did actually buy for this project but didn't end up using it all, so I popped it in there, and this little flower trim. And then behind there's some postcards. Now these have come from Netherlands, Netherlands. Oh gosh, Dutch is the language. You'll have to forgive me. I did get them from a YouTube channel, and I can't remember what channel it was. This one, however, that's the colourful one, is one that me and Chris, we went on our honeymoon, and I bought a bunch of postcards when I was down there, and this is practically where we stayed, so I popped that in there as well, because Gypsy should just travel all sorts of places. Again, this I want to untie it because it's been only now it stayed where it was, but if you untie it there, Lynn, you roll it out and you've got like a hidden message that I've put rolled up in a boho bead. I have to remember what that was called then. Then this side, this is the fabric that I've covered all the pages with, because Lynn said she loved black, so black she had, black and red. So again, more sari silk ribbons. I made this more colourful because I didn't quite go with colours on my paper page. And then on here, this slips out. I have made a paper clip that's got the darks. I did go the fancy stitching on my machine, some lace. This I haven't stamped with. It's just a piece of tea-dyed paper that I thought you may want to write on. So I didn't do anything to that at all. And this slides just behind there, like that. And then at the top, because we've gone from top to bottom, I've stitched all this with my machine. Now this flips open, and again my thought was that this piece was a piece she wore, and a piece she always wanted to keep. Maybe it was from a wedding or whatnot, but it was a piece she always wanted to keep, a piece she wore, so I stuck that in. Now this originally was going to have some sort of a tie, but I thought no, because when you first look at the book you don't see the pocket, so it's a hidden pocket, so that's what I've done. And then the fourth page is this page. So the fourth page, I sort of lost inspiration because I knew what I was going with all the rest of the book, and when I came to the last page I was like, right, what do I do, what do I do? So what I've done is I've added in a pencil, because they wouldn't have had pens to draw with, they would have had pencils, so I've added in a pencil, and then I've made a pocket out of fabrics, black fabrics, like I say, because Lynn loved black, greens, and there's reds in there and all sorts. And then in this pocket there's all sorts. So we have again a piece that she'd always wanted to keep. We have some fabric tags that I've done some fancy stitching on. There's another one. I think this one's got a pocket somewhere. There's the pocket just behind that lavender fabric, and there's a pocket just there as well behind there. So there's two pockets on this one. These are just, I'll go through these first because these are quite easy. So again, a piece he always wanted to keep because it's in blue. And then this, I've sewn the band together just with a piece of sari silk, and I've just put in some pieces of sari that I actually used on the book because I thought that would be a nice idea and a nice thing to do. So that fabric is obviously that one. This fabric is the pocket, and then that piece. And I am going to find, I'm going to dig out the main fabric I've used, fabric that Shirley gave me, and I'm going to dig out a piece, Lynn, and I'm going to pop it in this so you've got that as well. So that wraps round, and then the postcard. Now I've done this postcard, I've written the word love on the bottom, and this is a sewn postcard that again Lynn can write on the back. So I I knew what I wanted to do, but when it came to the last page I was like, right, I've done all what I wanted to do, now what do I do? And that's basically what I've done. So I hope that Lynn loves these pages. I know she will, because I absolutely loved doing them, and I've kept the paper page mainly as flat as I could. The fabric page, however, it has got a bit of thickness to it, and I don't know whether Lynn would want to take the pencil out. It was just something that I thought, I wonder whether that would fit there, and it did. So those are my fabric and paper Gypsy pages for the wonderful Lynn. And I've got one more thing to show you that I have been working on, but I'm going to do that in a separate video because it's a different theme. And next month, I think I'm on Alice in Wonderland next month, but I'm hoping again to get 3 pages done like I did this month. Hoping, we'll see how it turns out. But yes, I really enjoyed doing these Gypsy pages, and I cannot wait now to put all my pages together. I haven't made my cover yet because I'm waiting to get all the pages, but honestly I really can't wait. I just love the Gypsy themes, and I hopefully you love where I went with it and how, you know, where my thoughts were. So I will sort of love and leave you all with that information, and I will catch up with you all in my next video. Thank you all for listening to me. Thank you, Mary, for letting me join this challenge, and thank you, Lynn, for coming up with a theme that I'd never ever done before. I'd always wondered how to do it, and two, it was so inspiring. I watched Roxy Carr do her Gypsy pages. So hi Roxy, if you're watching. She is amazing. She makes amazing things for Gypsy. I also watched what else did I watch? I watched G Carr, believe G-Car for some inspiration on some ephemera ideas. So hi G, if you're watching. And I also watched Sabrina, I can't remember her last name, I can't pronounce it, but I will pop all those 3 links in the description bar below and where my inspiration came from, because yeah, without those ladies I don't think I would know where to start. So you all made it as easy as you could, so thank you so much, and I will speak to you all in my next video. Take care ladies, bye for now, bye.